What's up, y'all? So, welcome to Vision Matters. I'm interviewing today. I have David Nazario. Is that how I pronounce it?
Yes, I like the little Spanish accent too.
Okay. David Nazario.
Yes.
He's an author of the book.
Make Love Your Religion, How to Put Love First and Succeed at Doing What You Love.
Exactly. Okay. So he's the author of that. He's also an entrepreneur. And in his book, he goes through, you go through these chapters. And actually, I really love each chapter. You go through love of self, love of your community, love of knowledge, and love of, am I missing one? Love of God?
Love of money, love of celebrity life, and then the last one, love of God. Yep.
Okay, so I really want to start with love of self because I think that's the most important one.
Okay.
And it's funny because I was actually having this conversation with somebody just earlier. Being a person of color, you're Black and Puerto Rican, and being a person of color, being out in this world, we're taught that everything about us is like, especially in America, that everything about us is no. You need to assimilate. You need to assimilate to another person's culture. What you are isn't good enough. In your book, you quoted, "I was taught from an early age I had to love myself more than the world loved me." Like that kind of hit me. So I wanted to ask you, how do you love yourself, balancing the realities of the world?
That's a good question, and you're the first person to bring that part up about and to focus on the race. So the question is, how do I balance love of self with just the world?
Realities of the world.
I mean, I think it's just an ongoing process, and I always say, as much as this book is for other people, it's for me as well. And now I'm actually at the point where I feel like I need to read the book again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just to make sure that I'm trying my best to live out what's written in the book. So I say I balance it by just like, I mean, it sounds very trendy, kind of cliche at the moment, but self-care. Just trying to make sure that I make time for myself, make sure that I'm meditating on a regular basis, make sure I'm doing yoga, make sure that I'm just trying to vibe, just trying to keep my frequency as high as possible. And I think that's different for everybody. I think by the time we're I'm 35, by the time we're around my age, we kind of know when things are on and when they're off, and what we need to do to get things back on track and so forth. Can we curse or no?
Yeah, you can curse.
Because I was gonna say when you need to get your shit together. But so I think that's just having that balance, and then and also forgiving yourself and being kind to yourself when you aren't on that. Just like we're humans. Like I say sometimes, like I consider myself a quote unquote spiritual person, but I'm still having a human experience. So I'm gonna there's times where I'm going to mess up. There's times where I'm not going to be showing the most love to myself. There's situations that I'm going to have to go through, personal situations, which, I can think of one in particular that I've just been going through recently that I'm made my way out of, that was very personal, and it also had to do with love of self and things like that. So just being kind to yourself and having those things in order when it's time to get things together and to focus on yourself.
And where does failure come into that love of self? Like when you do something and you fail, like what is it like? How do you go back to saying, all right, well I'm still good though? Right.
Good question. I think just being persistent and thinking about your intentions and thinking about why am I doing what I'm doing? So, for example, when I first submitted the first manuscript of this book to my editor, the man who ended up editing it, the first time around, he denied it. He was like, I can't edit this. This is, the writing isn't strong enough. You need to work on this, this, and this. You need to read. He was like, really went in on me. And at that point, that was a failure for sure. But at that point I went, I kind of went back to the drawing board. I took a lot out of the book. I developed my writing a little bit better. I developed my writing. I got better at it. I practiced. And then I was able to fix my manuscript and get it to him, and he was happy to edit it. So failure is just I guess, an obstacle. That no is just an obstacle to your next yes, and you just have to have that drive and have to have, and I think it's a little bit easier when you know that you're doing something that you're meant to be doing. So I've known that I've always wanted to be a writer since I was young, and of course when an editor tells you that, it's a shot to the ego, and you're like, damn, well, I thought I was a good writer, and it didn't mean that I wasn't, but I just needed to get sharper. And I think that's what every photographer has to get sharper, a host has to get sharper, an artist artist, music artist, a painter, we all have to just be sharpening our toolbox and getting better.
Now you said that you always wanted to be a writer. Now in the book, you mentioned a career more so in fashion.
Yes.
That you had. So
that I was trying to have.
Yeah, but in that, in knowing your purpose in that. So how did you know the difference between like, okay, I'm failing because this is something that I can't do, I shouldn't be doing, versus I'm failing because this is just another obstacle, this is another lesson that I need to go. Like, how did you know the difference?
Yeah, I think I just knew. I think when I got the response back from the editor, I just knew that it wasn't because I wasn't quote unquote good enough. It was just because I needed to get better, and I just wasn't
I'm talking
there
about
yet.
The fashion portion. Like, how did you know? Like, man, like let me pivot, because so many times like we do certain things, we do different things, and it's like instead of like just keeping on trying with fashion and like you said, all right, well let me pivot, let me focus on my writing. How did you know like, okay, let me stop this I keep on failing because this isn't meant to be?
Right. Yeah, I think I wasn't failing. It was just that it was taking my time. It was taking some time. I was taking time away from the book, and it was taking time away from me learning. Like I say in the book, I was trying to sell clothing, and I haven't even figured out how to sell books yet. So it was taking time, and it was taking some focus away from. It was taking focus away from the book, and what I was able to do is I was able to just incorporate both, because now there's clothing that has not t-shirts, hopefully hoodies soon, and different things that have the name of the book on it. So I'm still able to capitalize off my interest in fashion, but now it's just a little bit different. Now it's more aligned with the bigger picture, with the main goal, with the main purpose.
So you just knew that the bigger picture was always going to be your writing. Like that was the bigger main focus.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
I want to talk about the love of community.
Okay.
In the book, really another quote. I'm just a quote person. When certain things hit me, you said that to do what you love is to serve. Can you just talk a little bit about that and purpose? And
definitely. I think there's so much I could say about that. As far as like doing what you love, it's I've gotten so many opportunities from helping other people, from being in a position of service, and I just think in order for you, and I think also when you're doing what you love, it's not. You don't necessarily feel like you're quote unquote working for free, or that you're bending over backwards to help this person or do this thing. It's more like, no, I'm just doing what I love. I'm just out here doing what I love. And opportunities are coming to me, and I'm providing opportunities from other people. And I think it's also about understanding that that's just the way, I believe that's just the way the world works. That's the way the universe, the multiverse works, is when we're serving other people, when we're serving someone else is going to serve us back. Now we can't go in, we can't have the intention, I'm just doing this so I can get something in return. But that's just universal law, that what we give out is going to come back to us. But
is there like a balance with that? Like in terms of, is there a such thing as loving your community too much to it's a detriment to yourself? Like, how do you find that balance?
Yeah, I don't know if it's loving your community too much, but I think when you say like a balance, I think you can't do everything for free. You can't put yourself in a position where you are not advancing because you're helping everybody else advance. It just has to be a healthy balance of doing what you do and making sure that it's being of service, but also making sure that it's not stopping you from handling your business and taking care of the things you need to take care of. I hope I answered that correctly. Yeah.
No, you did.
Okay.
And another thing that I know that in this day and age that even like I struggle with is making like just positive content, encouraging content, is so much out that's like not positive, and that seems to get like the hits and the popularity and the money and all of that. So I asked that to say, like, does it always have to be, that bigger picture in service? Because it seems like sometimes the other people are winning while everybody else that's like, trying to be of service, trying to do a good thing, trying to do something different, it seems sometimes like they lose. So like where are you in that?
Yeah, I think it just comes down to the individual. Like I try not to look at other people's successes or just look, they're doing this and they're winning in that way. I just try to just stay focused on on what I'm doing and what I believe to be true. Like what I believe that, you know, my path might be a little bit more, you know, might be take a little longer than someone else's path who may be promoting things that are not positive. But I just believe that, you know, by sticking to the positive and trying to promote that, and it doesn't necessarily always have to be quote unquote positive. Sometimes people just want a snapshot of what your life is like at the time. So I try to give a healthy balance of that and just give people something that they're going to get something out of, whether it's with my writing or with my social media posts and things like that.